Okay, Shadetreejetski channel coming at you with another informative, I hope, video. We're going to be rebuilding this Yamaha fuel sending unit / pickup assembly. They've got it all in one. This one is complete minus the fact that it's missing the little door that goes on the bottom. A lot of people take those off, but it does have a screen that pre-screens the fuel before it gets into your pickup tubes, which you can see the reserve pickup tube is right there. What goes bad on these generally is these crack and split, causing air to leak, causing your fuel system not to build up pressure, and your jet ski won't run. Okay, and you're sucking air. You could cause a lean condition and lose a cylinder. You've got an Oering style clamp here, and then on the large part here, there's the clamp that holds it in your ski, and then this whole thing pulls out, and you've got the green connector. This type of sending unit is going to be found in your XL800s, your GP800s, your 1200s, XLT 1200s, maybe even some 760s. It's very common in the Yamaha jet skis from like 98 on up to 2003, 4, somewhere around in there. All going to use this. Underneath every one of these is going to be an O-ring seal. You get to those by pulling those 3 screws right there. You can access, say you had a bad tube, you can access the tubes, taking these screws off. Actually, not that one does. That one is just for the screen. It's just this one screw, and this whole plastic piece will slide off there. All right, so we've slipped the tube off was the first step. You've got this long screw with stainless steel with a washer. Don't lose your washer. You've got the 3 tiny screws holding this plate that keeps everything up here together, as you can see. And then you've got the tubes have O-rings on them. Now these O-rings can get dry, crack, and cause air leaks, just like any other O-ring in the fuel system. That's why when you do a fuel system pressure test, you want to spray soapy water in the top of this and make sure you don't have bubbles when you do your pressure test. If you do, then you know you got bad O-rings. You'll notice that it's obvious to tell which one is the reserve and which one is the on for your fuel selector valve, because your reserve, the only reason it gives you a reserve is it's going to dip down into the tank a little further. Okay, I couldn't see any way of getting this off without cutting it. I tried getting a little screwdriver and pulling. These are on there very, very well. I will show you also, I've got the replacement boot here. They didn't bother to label which hose was which going back in. So just know that. And I guess it doesn't matter as long as you know what you're dealing with. You could have these reversed. You know your longer tube is your reserve. Your short tube is your on. So it doesn't really matter as long as you know what you're doing when you put it back together. Now they've got this made with a ramped lip. So when this goes back on, it slides on this way and then up and over. And the clamp, they provide you with a new replacement clamp. This part is not cheap. It costs about $100 once it's shipped to you and you pay for the shipping. There's a guy on eBay selling them. You just look up Yamaha fuel sending unit boot, and there's a guy on eBay selling them to make it easier for you. I don't know if you can directly contact him, but here's his information. This is where it's coming from. This is the guy that's selling them. Maybe if you bought it directly, he could sell it for less. I don't know, because eBay takes like 30% of your money, and that's, I don't know what else to say about that. Also, another source for these boots, because I guarantee you if you've got an old Yamaha 2-stroke, you're going to have a cracked boot. This one's made of better material than the original. It looks like they went with a thicker rubber. Maybe that's just my imagination, but it feels denser somehow. I was told they've improved it. Jet ski store in Florida. The jet ski store in Florida sells these as well. And I think he's got them for maybe $25 less. I'm not sure. I haven't bought one from him yet. But I did have a nice long conversation with him on the phone, because sourcing these parts, you know, is the challenge that you're going to run into with these old two-stroke jet skis. So let's take this apart and get on with the video. Indeed, there is an O-ring on the barb fitting, just like I said. You can't have something swiveling like that without having an O-ring. I have heard that people's engines have run lean and lost a cylinder from that because of just these O-rings leaking. So we're going to replace all the O-rings. It looks like, yeah, they're all going to be the same diameter O-ring. I'll go through my kit, find one that's the right size, and put that in the video. There is the fuel return line sleeved with a piece of Tygon at the end. And that will work just fine, I promise you. I've done it before. And there won't be any issues. The Tygon won't break down in the fuel. So let's do the other side. Okay, so there's my lines finished. You do have to be careful with your heat. I melted a little too much. Too much heat. You got to keep turning. Don't stay in one place too long. You're just trying to soften it so it'll slide up on there. Greasing that end as well. But I've got a lot. See how they don't move? I don't know if it translates well. I know I can feel they're tighter. They're much tighter fitting than they were before. So I know I've got airproof. There's going to be no leaks. And did grease the O-rings, and you know, a nice amount where it slides down in there. I've got a little deeper than the original hose stopped there, so I'm going a little deeper. But that isn't going to hurt anything. Tygon, boom, boom. All right, next we slip the boot on. Then we'll put the other two pieces back in. Good to go. Okay, it's done. All back together. It's kind of a snug fit with the extra thickness of the hose here. But other than that, it's not really that hard of a job. Just a little time consuming. And look at this. See how they don't swivel so easily anymore? And of course, I've got that plate a little tighter now. Don't tighten those too much because that's going into plastic. But that's how you rebuild a Yamaha jet ski, two-stroke jet ski, fuel sending unit / pickup tube assembly. Done. Like new, baby. Thanks for watching Shadetreejetski. See you in the next one.